Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. We got some breaking news. Apparently, Kevin is now trying to become sober, and I'm actually happy for him. I am happy that Meet Kevin is fighting his apparent addiction to alcohol. Have I been known to drink in my past? Yes, I have. Is it a toxic, evil thing? Yes, it is. But the reason I'm addressing it today with Meet Kevin is because he runs an ETF, publicly traded. You can invest in his ETF. He wants to offer you financial advice. He wants to build a financial plan for you. He's running House Hack that he wants you to invest in. And he also apparently has an alcohol problem. Do you see any red flags here, ladies and gentlemen? So let's go ahead and react to this recent video Meet Kevin said. 7 days sober. So apparently Meet Kevin, make sure we're sharing. Meet Kevin is 7 days sober, which I'm happy for him. I don't want him to get in trouble, okay? But we know he got a DUI, okay? We know he drinks on stream a lot, and he's probably under immense pressure. As a matter of fact, I think he's doing a little bit too much, okay? I think he's grasping for dollars a little too hard. He's flying a little too close to the sun, and when that happens, your freaking flesh melts off. So let's see what old Meet Kevin has to say here, and hopefully he doesn't admit some crazy stuff.
Hey, I know this sounds really lame, like who celebrates after 7 days. There are people who are on 7 months, 7 years, or more. Well, 7 days is a celebration to me. So I'm just going to share it, and I'm going to lay out my reasons, and then we'll talk about some of the problems, kind of in reverse order.
Okay, if you don't think you have an alcohol problem, you don't celebrate 7 days not drinking. A lot of people are just social drinkers, and, you know, they just drink whenever there's a social event, and when they are not socializing, they don't drink. I'm one of the types where I think I have genetic alcoholism. And what I mean by that is there's certain people, including me, that when you drink, it kind of picks you up. It makes you feel better. And then you want more. And then you want more. And then you drink more. And then you drink more and more and more. And what that does is that leads you to becoming blackout drunk. And that's very bad, okay? Other people, they drink and they just kind of fall asleep. You know, I'm tired. I knew people that do that too. But I think there's genetic alcoholism. I think it runs. But it doesn't mean that you're destined to be an alcoholic. For me, I get horrible hangovers, god-awful hangovers, like abysmal, head-splitting hangovers. So even if I tried, I couldn't do it because it hurts too much to drink. So while I have that genetic trait where when I drink, it perks me up and I drink more and more and more, and I've binged before. I binged a lot before. The older I get, the less I drink because the hangovers are just too much, okay? For some people, if you don't have a hangover, if you don't have bad hangovers and you have that genetic trait, guess what? Uh-oh. Which I think Meet Kevin probably has the same thing I do, except he probably doesn't have as bad of hangovers.
Because usually when you decide to do something, you kind of just justify it with reasons afterwards. So I kind of want to get to like the real why, not the rationalization why. But I'm going to start with the rationalization why just to get that out of the way, because I see these as, yes, rationalizations, but also benefits. So first one out of the way, I have 7 kids now. The twins are about to turn 1 year old. Can you believe that already? It's like crazy. October 26th, they're going to be 1.
Okay. When I had, because I have 2 kids, when you have kids, drinking is like, it's 20 times worse. Okay. Because normally when, let's say you have a night out in the town, you're waving your Kim lights around and you got paint on you and you're sweaty and you get rejected by a bunch of girls and then you crash, right? You're like this on your bed, or maybe you're on your stomach because, buddy boy, because Diddy got you. But, you know, the next day you can kind of sleep in. You're like, oh, man, get up at like 10 or 11. You know, you go get some Waffle House. And, you know, eventually your hangover goes away. Well, guess what happens when you have kids? They cry. They wake up at night. They wake you up early. Okay, it's freaking brutal to have kids and to drink, especially when you have bad hangovers. So that's another reason my drinking has gone down a lot, okay? So I can see why now that he has 7 kids, yeah, you might want to cut back a little bit, okay? Especially if they're freaking waking you up, which I'm sure they are. Unless you're like a nanny, which, I mean, he makes enough money. He probably is like a nanny.
And then the triplets after that, and of course, Jack and Max. But Jack's at the age now where he's definitely going to remember potentially seeing, you know, a not capable dad. And I owe it to every single one of those children to always be not just good, but be the best person I can be for them. I love the kids.
I mean, I respect the sentiment, but You are kind of a grifter, dude.
Hopefully every parent would. But anyway, and I'm sure they do. But number two, I also, and these are just like business goals, right? I have a goal of taking House Hack public sooner than I thought. I need to be the best CEO I can be, and being a public CEO would lead to a lot more scrutiny than, private CEO. Like, the worst thing that happens when you're a private CEO is, some scumbag that does nothing goes, "You're a scam." So, well, everybody does that. Everybody's a scam on the internet.
Kevin, I mean, so just by saying that people accuse you of scamming and everybody's a scam on the internet doesn't absolve you or exonerate you for some of the scams that you've pumped. And you're literally admitting that you have an alcohol problem. You have 7 kids and you have multiple businesses. Okay. I have a full-time job. I work out and I do a little bit of YouTube, or I'll do other side gigs. And then I'll have my kids every other weekend. And sometimes I get them like in the week and stuff like that. Okay. That's all I can't do anymore. I don't know how you handle this, okay? You can't be good at this many. You have to, like, pick something. That's why I don't date anymore. I stopped for a while because I couldn't work full-time, spend time with my kids, do side businesses, do people's taxes, and then date. I just basically sucked at all of them, okay? At a certain point, you have a limit. You have a freaking limit, and you've crossed that limit, in my humble opinion. And on top of that, you're drinking all the time, okay? Hopefully, I'm rooting for the best, okay? Because drinking is really, it's a terrible thing, unless you can control it. But he's taking on too much on the plate. I don't know if he's drinking because he's stressed or if he drinks and then, or he's just an alcoholic. I don't know if it's like a result of stress or if he just does it because he does it. But it's a terrible freaking thing. But even if you quit drinking, you still have too much on your plate, dude. Way too much. You got to dump something, okay? But now that he wants a house have to go public, oh my god, I can't wait to. Your company is going to be under public scrutiny, Kevin. Public scrutiny, and it might not get pretty for you because I know I'm looking through those financial statements. And I feel like he's setting up for a huge fall. I really do. Because he's pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And he's, even though he's a very capable grifter. I'll give him that. He's very capable at grifting. He can do a lot of stuff and he can kind of like do just enough to get by. But at a certain point, when you get more and more in the public eye, you're more and more likely to be exposed. Okay. And just saying that critics are haters isn't going to cover your butt. It's not. Okay, people call me a hater. I've exposed 1,000 clowns. They just call me a hater. But that doesn't change the fact that you're a clown.
But when you're public, you're under serious scrutiny, which I actually think is a good thing because I think we could prove how awesome we are in public and grow even faster and better. But anyway.
When you can hide behind a YouTube channel, and YouTube is one of the easiest ways to grift because you can delete old videos, which, oh, by the way, he deleted all his old videos or he hid them and then he was doing something to them because now they're all back. Interesting that happened, okay? YouTube it's very easy to be a fraud. Look at Jeremy. Look at your buddy Jeremy LaFave. He's doing great, okay? He's a total massive fraud and a loser. But like you said, once you're in the public scrutiny, if you were a scam all along, if you were conning people, if you were creating the illusion of success, it's going to come to light. You might want to just stay on YouTube, okay? That's all I'm saying.
But in addition to this, I'm waking up at like 3 a.m. almost daily now. I have been since Monday, and it's really impossible. Usually I wake up at like 4:30 or somewhere around that range. So this is an adjustment. You may have noticed I've been posting some videos on the channel before the market open live stream. 3 a.m. wake up, baby. Makes you a real fun party person at night. Not.
He's hyper productive. I'll give it to him. I would say I'm more productive than the average person. He definitely puts in more hours of work than even me. And that's actually saying something. And it's exhausting. Okay. And he's taken on more than me. I'm telling you, he's doing so much work, he's going to suck at everything. And then he's freaking drinking on top of that.
Sleep usually like now. But anyway, I'm waking up at about 3 a.m. almost daily now. And it's really impossible to drink late and then be functional at 3 a.m. That doesn't work. Obviously I've got other businesses going on as well, from Stock Hack, the financial advice that we do, other startups, the masterminds that we do. These are all really important businesses. And I also need to make sure that I don't look like a clown out in the world because we all know I've made mistakes. But I don't think I've ever gotten to the real root problem of alcohol yet. And I don't want to make any promises because I changed my mind. But I'm kind of making this video because it's really helping me share the experience of what it's like sort of feeling this the first week.
I mean, I honestly don't believe him, because what he'll do is he'll just start drinking again, and I flip-flops!
And I want to share it because I think what I'm beginning to realize is alcohol is this slippery slope, both over the long term, but also within a night. Like, let me give you an example of a night first. So an example of a night could be like, boom, double shot. Okay, cool. Like, you feel good. I mean, what are you going to blow on like a breathalyzer? We have like these little portable breathalyzers, which is great. Like a 0.035, big deal. Okay, you go 4, you're knocking on the door of 08. That's bad. Like, you don't even want to be close to that, right? Ever. Like, that's just bad. And then what happens is you go past, and the reason I say you don't want to be close to 08, not because of the legal driving limit, you should never drink and drive, but like, you're going to feel that in the morning. 2, like when you're under 0.04, you're probably not really going to have any effects the next morning. But the problem is 2 leads to 4. That you're going to feel in the morning. And now you're feeling even better. But this is where the slippery slope comes in. Then you go for another. Well, as soon as you have one more, you're at like a 0.1. Well, 0.1, this is where you kind of go in the direction of like, you're going to be less functional. You're probably going to be 30% less functional in the morning. And I'm not even talking about waking up at 6 a.m.
Yes. One leads to another. I have the same genetic trait. Okay. And funny enough, my parents don't drink, but other people in my family do. It is genetic, I think. Okay. I'm not a scientist, but when you drink, some people fall asleep. Other people want more and more. And I'm one of the guys that wants more. And I have consumed ungodly amounts of alcohol. I remember when I was in Germany, right? I would get these 50 centiliter or whatever bottles of beer. They have like bigger beers in Germany. And I would pound like 7 of those. I would just keep going and going and going, because it's like, oh, I feel really good. Oh, I feel good. Oh, it's just one more. It's just one more. And before you know it, you are hammered. And the next day is completely ruined, and the loss of productivity is insane. Okay? But even if he quits drinking, in my opinion, he's just freeing up more time to do even more grifts. He's going to keep pushing the limit. He always pushes beyond what he's capable of doing. He's very capable at running multiple things. I wouldn't say that he does it well, but he's capable of running multiple grifts because he's like highly productive. But when you push beyond, even everybody has a limit. When you push beyond your limit, you're going to fail and suck at everything. And that's what I think is the case with him. I think he sucks at everything because he's doing too much. Okay. So why are you doing stock hack? I thought your dream was to do house hack. Why are you doing stock hack? Wait till you go public with house hack, pump it up, dump it, and then you'll have the money to do stock hack or do something else. Okay. I don't understand. Like, he goes too hard. Okay. He's reaching too far, and it's going to hurt.
3 a.m. I'm talking about like even waking up at a normal time, 8 a.m. You're going to be less functional once you cross that 0.1 threshold. Obviously, then if you keep drinking at that point, that's when you just get like brown out or blackout. That's stupid. That actually rarely was my problem. Obviously, when and if getting to that level, you turn into a clown, and it's just bad. Like, you would never want to see really anyone in that kind of state. And that's one of the things that I find that's really challenging is that in the moment slippery slope. If you're at a party or a celebration, or you're celebrating a birthday or Christmas or whatever, even if it's at your home, or hopefully, you certainly should never be driving. But the point is, it's so easy to go from the first, okay, you've loosened up your judgment, the first double, to now I'm at hangover level, to, okay, now I'm not functional, I'm 30% less functional next morning, to, maybe one more drink, and now you have no ability to say no anymore, and just keep going. That's not good. Now, fortunately, I will be transparent. It's been years since I've ever vomited from alcohol, and I only say that because, well, it's probably a bad thing, because I feel like that's the other slippery slope, is I feel like in the past, if I had 5 shots, I was vomiting that night. Well, now it feels like I can have 10.
Yes, because he's an alcoholic. If he's able to take a ton of shots and not barf, yeah, he's drunk a lot more than you might think. Okay, it takes a long time to build that. I used to have that immunity. I used to go out when I was in the Army, and I'd have like 10 double Jack and Cokes and just be blasted, but I wouldn't barf, and then I'd go do it the next night. Now, if I did that, I think I would die. I think if I went out and drank like I did when I was in the Army, I think I would die. Now when I go out, it's like 3 or 4 beers, and then some days I still have a freaking hangover. If he's at the point where he can have a ton of shots and not barf, he's legit an alcoholic, especially at his age, okay? Because when you get older, it gets harder. I think he's like, 30-something? Roughly my age, something like that.
And it's not like I weigh like twice as much as I used to. It's kind of generally relatively stable. So I think what that means is this sort of tolerance gets built up over time. And so now you have to have more, which just sort of leads you to want to have more. It makes it easier to have the next one. And this is that slippery slope I'm talking about. I remember, even 12 years ago, it's like, oh, you can have like a shot and a glass of wine. And you're like, man, now it's like, do
Shots and wine is a very dangerous combo. Oh my God. No, that I can't even imagine the hangover. Oh, Lord help me.
Do I feel anything? Right. But again, the further you go, the more you want and the easier it is to keep going. It's not like it's harder to keep going. It's easier to keep going. And so it's really bad, especially then, if you have relationships around you. What if you say something stupid? What if you do something stupid? The good news is nothing bad has happened. Like Lauren and I are good. We were just on a date.
Sometimes when I used to drink, I would get like highly aggressive. Like I turn into an evil monster when I drink liquor. No more, okay? I'm surprised I have not been in a fight while drunk because there's been so many times where I'm just like, I'm evil, okay? I basically become Jeremy LaFave when I drink liquor. Just put that out there.
Date night, and it's funny, they know us so well. They brought us 2 Mai Tais and the food, and I'm like, guess you're having 2, Lauren. She's like, good, I wanted 2 anyway. I had not a single sip, and it was sitting right there. But what was really interesting, and I think this, I don't know what it is, but we did this Napa Valley wine tour last Friday, and it was fun. We great company. We had a blast. It was just a day trip. We flew there, wine toured, and flew back in the same day, and then Ubered home, obviously. I think McKay drove me. Thanks, McKay. But he's Mormon, in case anybody doesn't know. I guess they don't drink alcohol, which I respect that. I think it's kind of cool. But the next days, I was looking at alcohol. I'm like, man, I don't want anything. I feel disgusted. I feel like it's just been overdone. And even yesterday, I was in DC and we were at a bar. We're eating snacks. My snack was celery. We're doing also like a weight loss competition, which is sort of like a different thing we could talk about. We have this exercise competition going on, quick tangent, exercise competition where the goal is how much weight can you lose by the end of the year? And then from there, you have to gain weight. So kind of like we're trying to pull the Larry Kudlow V-shaped.
It's a weird way. I don't think about fitness as how much I weigh. Because like, if I didn't work out, I would be fat. And now that I do work out, I have a ton of muscle. So muscle is pretty freaking heavy. So worrying about your weight doesn't make any sense. In my personal, when you focus on weight, I think you're going down the wrong path. I mean, I'm not a nutritionist or whatever, but it's more about like body composition.
Recovery. Anyway. But yesterday I'm looking at this menu and I'm like, I just don't have a desire for any of this. So I don't know. It's possible that a week ago could have just sort of like contributed to no thanks. But I do see. Oh well, I mean, then you have to also look at just the caloric intake. I mean, every technical shot of alcohol is probably 100 calories. If it's tequila, if it's a beer, a 5-ounce alcohol beer, a 12-ounce.
Yes, if you don't drink, if I didn't never drank in my life, I would be a chiseled Giga Chad. I'm convinced I would be a chiseled Giga Chad right now if I never drank in my life, because it's so many extra calories, and then the next day you feel like garbage. You don't want to do anything. You probably skip the workout the next day too. So it's just a total disaster.
Or whatever's probably around 150 calories just in alcohol. Then you got to add the barley and the hops and stuff like that. The caloric intake, 5 drinks a night could be 400 or 500 calories. In the span of a week, 500 calories is literally a pound of fat. That's crazy when you do the math like that. 5 drinks a night, 7 days in a row. Not that I would have 5 drinks a night anyway, but that's wild to think about. It's almost a pound. But anyway, I think overall this is going to be really, really useful for many different purposes. 1, 7 kids. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be, I think, put me in a.
Yeah, and the majority of his kids are infants. Like at least mine now sleep through the night, but his are probably waking up, and then like one wakes up the other one. And it's like a freaking disaster. And if you're drunk, it's like it's hell on earth. Okay, don't drink when you have young kids or at all.
A lot better place for them, and I think I'll have a lot more energy for them too. Number 2, it's really important for just being a publicly facing, essentially walking entity, if you will, for all the various different businesses, whether it's, what we're doing in our courses or our live streams or, not that I drink in the morning anyway, or our, masterminds or financial advice, whatever. But then also the recognition that, yeah, this is a substance that can lead to an easier slippery slope, and then you make oopsie doopsies, and nobody wants oopsie doopsies. So if you want to avoid
oopsie doopsies, I made a bad trade on stock hack, or I made a bad trade on my BP ETF. Oh, I'm down 50%. Oopsie
doopsies, and you want to maximize your productivity, probably all a good thing. So again, I know it's like a stupid kind of thing to celebrate over. I don't even know why I make a video on it, but I thought some people would be curious, so I thought I'd share it. Anyway, hopefully that's insightful. I appreciate y'all.
He's cured. We'll see if he actually freaking lasts. All right, let's do some comments. What up, strong man? I think he could be he's definitely an alcoholic. I'm drunk while I'm at work. Is there a drunk ETF? I'm sure there is. Let's see. Do you ever buy VT while you're drunk? Well, I'm never drunk. I don't like day drinking. No. I'm a night drinker. Exclusively. I mean, I've drank during the day. I hate it because you sober up during the day. Ugh. So, no, I'm at work during the market's trading hours. Like, I'm not drunk at work. And if I was, I wouldn't tell you. Yeah, I mean, like, dude, he's running a portfolio. Like, and there's a lot going on there. Let's see. Me, Kevin, live streams harder than, you guys are missing it. Let's see. Another Meet Kevin clickbait vid. All of YouTube's clickbait. Clown. Let's see. Yeah, I'm glad. It's a good thing. Okay. I'm on a slow grind to sobriety. I went from like mega drinker, and now I'm like very occasionally. And I think by the time I'm like 40, I probably just won't drink at all. You can have permanent brain. Yeah, I hope I didn't damn it. I'd be like a giga genius if I didn't drink right now, if I never drank in my life. Boys, I used to be able to, back in the day, I used to be able to throw them back, okay? Let's see. Now I'm curious about 10x stocks you're about to pump. Man, I didn't even want to imagine what would happen if I was raging on I'd say some obnoxious stuff. Who are these people paying Kevin? Who is this? You know what, man? That's just how it is. Let's see. Yo, strong man, question for you. If you have a $600K mortgage and it's 6.5%, you got the cash to pay it off. Should you do it or invest in VT? Well, it's I mean, like, how much can you generate off your current portfolio sustainably? And how much are you saving by paying off your mortgage? I mean, personally, in my opinion, I think you should work until your mortgage is paid off. And like mine will be paid off. Crap, when did I buy this house? 2020? So 2030. No. I'm a clown. 2050. That was horrible math. This will be paid off in 2050, so in 26 years. So yeah, I'll be right around the ripe old age to retire at about that time. So, but once you pay off your house, I mean, it should be a glide path. And then once the house is paid off, you probably got a huge portfolio. Because if you pay off that mortgage and then the market goes crazy, you're probably going to feel like a dummy. So, I mean, that's a personal decision. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do. What did I miss? Me, Kevin drinks a lot. It's off. I hate day drinking. Oh, my God. For sober Kevin, you'd up. Well, imagine that as a business model. I'll be wasted for the $5 tier, but then I'll sober up. And then you can pay me $15 for that. So if you want an intoxicated strongman, $5. If you want sober strongman, $15. Yeah, I tend to avoid it. Do people? Good thing he hired such seasoned Oh, we'll cover that too. Let's see. I quit drinking last night after my glass of wine. Big risk of a relapse tonight. You got a problem there, buddy. All right, guys, that's it. Check out the pinned comment below. Check out my grifts, sponsored videos, which I got one coming up today. Check out my book, Stop Being a Broke Loser. And if you want one-on-one accounting tutoring, pinned comment below. Talk to you later. Cheers.